Hello, welcome to Romantic Wednesdays with Poetry. I'm Alisa Agnes, your host, and I believe it's time to get real and spill some tea. A coffee. Okay, so today we'll continue talking about a romantic summer. It's the first cycle of the second volume of my debut poetry book, and today you'll learn more about Aquatic Voyages and Water. These two poems, as you can probably guess already right now, are very much connected, and it has this very specific summer vibe, so I guess it's a perfect content to talk about right now, because it's June. And well, maybe I will also inspire you to go by the sea, or I don't know, any other aquatic kind of place. Yep. Okay, I think it's time to read you the first poem. Right now it's called Aquatic Voyages, and later I will tell you a few words about annotations to this poem, and it's full of this, so it's important to understand this context. It's a cultural kind of context, because it's about Poland and about Warsaw and this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's Aquatic Voyages. Past shower, drop by drop, I close my eyes. Nothing but the noise in my ears. I see a ship, a boat, a motorboat, swimming people and fishermen, and the old town and palace of culture and science, and now tree limbs in the water, beavers on the land. Where are bridges? This boat is quite different, and the air is different, blinking. Clouds and the sea. Salmon in an almond sauce, fresh herring on the plate. Breeze hits my face. This pier is blurry. And the bathtub again? Was I dreaming? No. These were just memories of aquatic voyages. Yeah, that's the end of the poem. And okay, right now I have to explain a few words. So, the old town, which is mentioned in this poem, the Palace of Culture and Science, and fishermen and all those things related to the river, it's all about Warsaw, the capital city of Poland. And the river is Vistula. In Polish it's Wisła. I know it's a very tough thing to pronounce, but yep, this is how it sounds in Polish. So this is the first part of this poem, and all those things that are very specific for the city are described in the first few lines of this poem. And later I describe all the smaller streams and rivers, which are more wild in the nature. And in 2017 it was probably the first time when I went kayaking. And this kind of little streams is the best probably place for such a thing. And I just love this very much. And once I also met beavers, not on the land but in the river, literally. And this is the second part of this poem. And later I describe all those kind of things that can be nothing but about the sea. And in this case, it's about the Baltic Sea, because by the sea Poland is placed. And in 2017 was the second time when I went by the sea with my parents. And in the no, wait, it was the third visit. Yep, I just remind myself that the first time was 2014. It was a school trip. Later, in that 2017 was one trip to Gdańsk, Trójmiasto. Gdynia, Sopot, and Gdańsk. It's just, three cities that are literally almost one huge city. And well, the second time when I went by the sea was, to Gdańsk and all those other cities by the sea. And later that year I went also with my parents. So 2017 was a double kind of, thing when it comes to this kind of stuff. Or it was 2016, something like that. Well, anyway, later I also went for my first students, kind of trip before I started my studies. And during that trip, I tried kayaking for the first time in my life, and I really loved it. Kayak is a really nice kind of boat, and also I just really like cruises and this kind of stuff. And also my dad is very fascinated about fishing, and when I was younger I even had my own fishing rod. So we have everything that is related with water, with also lakes, it's all very much a summer vibe, but it's also this kind of thing that I truly love. And in that year, and all those years before, I haven't been to mountains too many times. So the sea was the realest love and fascination in that time. And I was just 19 years old in 2017. Just saying. So right now you know more about the meaning of this poem, I guess, and about the situation that it was inspired. And right now I wonder what more I could say about this one. I also wrote this for the competition. I mentioned about this a few times before. 2017 was also a time when I wrote so many poems for competitions, and this one I remember was written for that. And also in 2017 I only had a bathtub, and it's kind of real story, because sometimes such a thing like taking a shower or a bath can remind us about such things like all those that I mentioned in this poem. And it's like you may feel like you're dreaming, but you're actually daydreaming, because it all really happened. So it's a very similar structure of this poem to the dream, the memory. It was one of the first episodes of my podcast, and it's a very similar kind of thing here, but that it was an imaginary historical kind of event, and right here we have something that is nothing but true. And I guess very personal. Yep. Okay, so right now I can move on to the second poem. it's called water. I like to spend my time in the bathtub. I like to watch how water is evaporating. I like when drops are falling slowly. It's a delicate touch of nature. I like to feel your hands around my body. It's as good as a lover. It's so addictive. Water. So it's, the poem called Water, and it's, I guess, shorter than the previous one. But it's the same situation. Again, I mean a bathtub and a bath. And this is a real, situation that inspired these two poems. And this time it's just about this feeling. I mean, it's about evaporating, about watching drops of water falling. And it's about feeling like water is all around you, and it feels like like in the arms of the loved one. And it's just like comparing water and such a bath to being close with a lover. So that's the whole concept of this poem. And as I've said, it's just about taking, a bath. So I guess it's all that I can say about this poem right now. And well, it only means that I can slowly end this episode. But before it happens, I will tell you what will happen in the next episode. Yep. So the first poem about which I will talk in the next episode is called What is Love? It's a totally different vibe than what we heard about today. It's rather, dramatic. And well, the second poem is called Why? And I guess it's also kind of similar to that, first poem. So in the next episode, you will get totally different, but it's still romantic, because romanticism has many faces, So, yep, this is what will happen in the next episode. So now I can only tell you until the next time. Yep. Bye.